All right, everybody. Welcome to the Ham and Juice podcast. I'm your host, Jason. And my co-host Hamza is here, and we're going to get right into the news.
Hey everybody, again, my name is Hamza, and together we are the Ham and Juice podcast. I'm the ham, he's the juice. So let's get right into it. Jason, how have you been this week? You been
I'm
good?
doing beautiful.
I'm doing beautiful as well. I'm ready to get right into this podcast. So
Right into it.
what are we expecting from this week, Jason? What are we be talking about?
This past couple of weeks has been pretty exciting in the case of music, especially for my favorite rapper of all time, Logic.
Hell yeah. We have a couple. Well, I guess we have one big tragedy this week. But we also have some other news as well. Some other encouraging stuff in terms of music. Some stuff coming from Rihanna. Some stuff coming from Biz Markie. If you know who Biz Markie is, shout out to you because that's reaching pretty far back. We have a fair amount of stuff actually this week. So I think we'll just get right into it.
Sure thing.
I think we gotta address first off, we gotta pay our respects to Malik B.
Oh, no.
A founding member of The Roots. He is dead at age 47,
Truly tragic.
which is it's pretty sad. I mean, I've listened to a lot of Roots albums. If you don't know, I guess a lot of people know them as the band. They're the band for what? What's his name? The guy who laughs at everything, the talk show host?
Jimmy
Fallon. Yes, sir.
Of the Tonight Show?
Yeah, man. They're the backing band for Jimmy Fallon, which is insane because Jimmy Fallon does not deserve The Roots. I feel like I've heard this somewhere, but he does not. I mean, in terms of artistic output, in terms of just pure talent, it's very hard to match them. I mean, personally, just on a bit of a tangent here, my favorite albums by them are Things Fall Apart and Undone. And those albums are separated by what? Like 12 years?
Uh-huh.
And both of them I consider to be just absolute masterpieces, man.
Yeah.
So
I knew them from Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show.
Yeah. It is, again, quite sad. I mean, a lot of people from The Roots, a lot of people outside of that band, but still in hip-hop have paid their respects on social media. So again, I would suggest maybe checking out their discography because they really are top tier hip hop.
Understandable.
What else do we have this week, Jason? What's up in your?
Well, we didn't. We were talking about a lot of Drake last week, but we forgot one of the biggest songs.
Oh,
this one they name dropped the host Hamza.
It's true. I've been name dropped in a Drake song, and I'm kind of I don't know how to feel about it, because I feel like Drake, while he's big, I don't know if he's that big to name drop me. Like I feel a little bit like.
All right.
I feel a little bit like he's trying to call me out for something.
Sure.
I don't know what it is.
In the lyric, it said like somebody said he looked like an Arabic kind of person, like Yusuf or like Hamza. So are people saying that you look like Drake or
I've never quite gotten that particular comparison, mostly because Drake is a half Jewish, half black man, and I am an all brown man. Okay. So So if you don't know, if you haven't heard the freestyle is called Only You by Heady One and Drake, and produced by M1 on the beat. So. Yeah. The lyrics in question here that we are calling out Drake is Arabic Ting told me that I look like Yusuf, look like Hamza. And then he says, Habibti, please, ana akid inti wa ana ala. It's crazy, man.
So, is Drake allowed to appropriate Arabic?
I don't know, but it's weird because he's also appropriating UK drill into this. So I don't even know who has the responsibility to call him out here, because it almost feels like we don't even know. Is it the Arabic crowd that has to call out Drake, or is it the UK drill crowd? I don't know. Is it
British, UK drill, Arabic peoples?
That's possible. I know there's a French rapper named Hamza that's collaborated with Drake before.
Okay.
And he has a decent. I think it's called Paradise. I remember he performed with Drake in Paris in a concert. I don't remember exactly when, but it happened. So that's at least for European Hamzas, there is that guy. But I don't know about British Hamzas, man.
Yeah. So, I love Drake. We always love Drake.
Mhm.
And I think, as much as Hamza is questioning the name drop, I appreciate it. And
I'm calling out Drake to
oh goodness.
get on this podcast and address these allegations that I'm putting forward onto him. I cannot believe that he would say Arabic Ting told me that I look like Yusuf, look like Hamza. Drake does not look like me. Drake never looked like me. All right, Drake could not even approach what I look like. All right, if you've seen the podcast art, you can clearly see that I am much better looking than Drake in all ways, man. He does not have enough hair to even compare to me.
Yeah, shout out the podcast art. Shout out me.
Shout out podcast art. Yeah, if you don't know, Jason made the art and he's very proud of it.
If you don't know,
hell yeah.
now you know.
Now you know. What else we got this week? Oh, I guess we can. You know what?
What's
let's
up?
Let's talk a little bit more about Jason's personal music taste, because we have an article right here saying that Logic thanks Drake and J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar in an emotional live stream for his final album.
Yeah, Logic, he uses other artists, and he's influenced by the rap game itself, and a lot of these people, I like J. Cole, I like Drake, and I like Kendrick Lamar. And in Logic's retirement album, he thanks these people in an emotional, heartfelt live stream by saying, you know what, without these people, there couldn't be no Logic. There couldn't be Logic without Drake, without Kendrick Lamar, without Kanye West. And you can hear that in his album, especially in songs like Dad Bod, where he talks about his family and the rap game as a whole.
It's very true. If you don't know I guess you have to know by now, but Jason is an avid Logic fan. And recently Logic had dropped his final album called No Pressure. Mm-hmm. Kind of a reference to one of his I think it might have been his first commercial album. Was it Under Pressure? I think that might have been it.
Yes.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Jason, what did you think about this album?
I love No Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had a lot of different expectations about this album. Like it was Bobby Tarantino 3. Or in my case, it was going to be Everybody 2. But... or Confessions of a Dangerous Mind 2. We don't know. But when it came out, it was this back to basics kind of palate cleanser of an album that really focuses on Logic's personal life and the struggles. So in this album, he reveals that at some point he just doesn't really care about the rap game and wants to focus on his child, his family, which is admirable, Logic's always said that his family has been always struggling. He has growing up, he had no father figure in his life, and he had to do things he didn't want to do. But he succeeded, and he said he wants to be there for his family, and this album's really about that. So if you love family, Logic, and what he has to say in this album, you'll love it. I'll definitely recommend it.
It is very interesting because I like to bring up another album that is focused on family a lot, and they basically have the opposite reception. The Big Day by Chance the Rapper.
Goodness.
I mean, that album is very family focused.
Yeah.
Right? Which is and very the lots of money went into it, lots of production, lots of features.
Actually,
right?
but you can compare it. That's a good comparison because on this new album, No Pressure, there's no features. It's 100% Logic through and through. But yes.
And they have pretty much the opposite reception. I mean, like people thought The Big Day was the worst album of that year.
Mm-hmm.
And people Jason did not think. But yeah, like what would you say is the main difference between those two albums? At least like in how they approach family, because I think I've seen like a statistic. I don't know if this is correct. I could be completely wrong here.
Okay.
But I think like every 2.2 bars, Chance mentions family on The Big Day. Okay. It's something insane like that. What do you think about I guess the difference between these two?
What makes Logic succeed? What Big Day didn't do for a lot of people? It's definitely in the way it was executed. In many ways, Logic here is serious. Is really focused on being his true self and laying it all on the table and being completely vulnerable in this moment. Big Day just seemed to be loud and brash and sensitive and it did not care about a lot of things, and it didn't cater to what people wanted. This new Logic album is different from other albums, but it's some of the classic kind of Logic bars and the production is more palatable. I would say than the way Big Day was finally produced. So
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I feel like because Logic's an interesting like artist when you look at him. In that his fans they hate him when he tries new things, and they
Yeah.
continually beg him to return back to his older style, which is what they prefer.
yeah,
And yet you have this massive pushback from him because, I mean, to be honest with you, what artist wants to continually rap about things that basically were interesting to them when they were maybe age 20? When, I mean, how old is Logic now? I mean, he has a kid. Hold on, let me check how old he is. How old is Logic? He's 30. The man is 30.
that's old.
I mean,
That's young. That's young for a person. I'm a young person, but that's,
shout out to our older fans. You know, I'm not saying that 30 is old, but I mean, any person here, any person here who's let's say even like 25, like, are you really gonna tell me that you want to rap about exactly the same way about the same things that were interesting to you 5 years ago, right? Yeah. And to be honest, like, no, I mean, like, you look at other artists, like, especially like, I mean, since we're talking about Logic, you have to talk about J. Cole. Because J. Cole was a massive inspiration to this dude. And, I mean, J. Cole's earlier stuff was a lot more harder hitting, I guess. I mean, we've talked about it in the last episode. But, I mean, Friday Night Lights, which is his first, I guess, project. Even like, what was that other one? I'm forgetting, whatever. Like, right before, why am I forgetting this? 2014 Forest Hills Drive, the one before that. Anyway, like, just comparing those albums, right? Like his latest one and his earliest one. People may prefer one, but I don't think he would be okay with producing an album like that anymore because he's changed as a person. And
I think the reception between J. Cole and Logic is different because Logic, I think, is more public personality. He talks a lot more. J. Cole seems a little more private. If I may be mistaken, but Logic's always out there talking about how he feels and where he's from, and he's always out there. J. Cole seems a little more private, so he's a little more mysterious. And people, they the more you know about a person, the more you can hate or the more you can love, and that's why Logic fans are so ravenous about it.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. I don't know, like, if you look at like the massive differences between these two artists, like, you have to realize that like there isn't a whole lot that separates them. I mean, they're both from like I guess a lower income bracket, if we're really gonna talk about it like that. Like, they're both from poor families. They both had a troubled life. They both had difficulty with I guess growing up, and yet they both have such massively different reception when it comes to their music.
I think it comes from the audience. Don't you think? It's a different audience, true. Right? And what would you say the audience for J. Cole music is like?
I mean, okay, because here's the problem. I don't talk to J. Cole fans, man. Like, okay. I think I've mentioned this on the last episode, but generally, J. Cole fans that are my age are like, I guess they're kind of like Logic fans. That are my age, in that a lot of them really don't like to hear criticism of J. Cole.
All right,
or Logic, you know.
I know that you know a lot of people who listen to Logic. I know a lot of Logic fans.
That is true.
I know a couple Logic fans, and they love Logic. They love Bobby Tarantino. Logic. They just love him, and I love Bobby Tarantino too. I also love everybody. We kind of forgive him for the Supermarket, and we were kind of lukewarm on Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
You guys were not lukewarm on the Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, because I remember getting in the car with you and we were talking about it, and you were like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like this one. And I was like, okay, all right, okay.
Lukewarm. Some people like this. People like the Eminem song.
Yeah, I guess that was, okay.
And people like different aspects.
Yeah, there was that, who was on it? Shoot, there was one song that I actually was okay with. It was a feature too. Confession. I can't believe I'm doing this. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, because when Logic was on it, he had the Chris D'Elia bit, and it was really funny.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I liked one song.
You like the song from Logic, really?
I liked Mama Show Love Song. That's what I liked. YB and Cordae featured killed it, in my opinion.
So
Anyway.
ultimately, this album, I think, unified the Logic fan base wherever you're from. People think this was a really a good album. You know, I wish there was more features. You know, if Logic, this is the final Logic album, and this is the final time Logic will ever make any music, I would be remiss to say that I regret that he didn't ever make a feature song with Drake. I think a Logic Drake feature would have been like really good, but it's too bad his career's over. But this album was a great send off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is, I mean, if you had to pick an album to end your career on, this is not the worst way to do it. I think this is actually pretty good. Yeah, so I guess we're going to continue a little bit with Logic here, where
Sure.
he actually discusses the Grammys' lack of hip-hop subgenres,
Yes.
and he says that is BS.
Yeah. So
What do you think about that?
well, the Grammys. Let's give the audience some context here. The Grammys have created this one genre called progressive R&B to encompass
Urban
music, hip
Which
hop
is-
music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think Tyler the Creator had some concerns about this genre typing, and so does Logic. You know, I think there should be more diversity. I think there should be more separate genres for this, but the Grammys did not do this. They just renamed it progressive R&B, and as such, Logic has shown his, you know, his opinion that it's BS, and you know, I think so as well. But I also think, how much do we care about the Grammys now? You know, the Grammys have always been kind of like this. They've always kind of ignored hip hop. They gave Macklemore the Grammys over
Oh man, they did.
Kendrick Lamar. So
Yeah,
how
they
can we?
did.
Why do we want the respect of an establishment that won't give respect to the artist of this particular genre of music?
You know, it's completely fair, but I think because people like to have awards, people like recognition, people want to say my guy won this award, people want to say my guy has a Grammy, right? And the issue is, I mean, especially like in today's music industry, right?
What?
The Grammy is considered, I mean, just this is from my point of view, the Grammy is considered to be like the peak of what you can do. Once you have a Grammy, you're done. You're not done, but like you've made it. You're like, no one can say that you didn't. You're just like kind of like a sellout. You're just some kind of like person who maybe has 50 minutes of fame,
Sure.
right? You have a Grammy, and
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this. I do agree with you. I think the Grammys are, I guess, outdated in terms of how they rank music. I think that they, like Logic goes on to he talks about how rock music is often granted special treatment
Yeah.
with like different labels. And he brings up, grunge, shoegaze, indie rock. And the thing in, hip hop isn't. And the thing is, hip hop has so many subgenres.
100%.
I mean, today we were just talking about UK drill.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that really wasn't in the mainstream like 10 years ago.
Yeah. And now Drake's doing it.
I mean, Drake, like literally, arguably the biggest hip hop star in the world, maybe even the biggest pop star in the world, has been adopting it. Yeah. And it is insane how the #1 music award ceremony, I don't know, academy, whatever you want to call it, does not recognize that hip hop, which is probably I think it is the fastest growing music genre and probably the biggest genre right now, isn't, I guess, isn't recognized for what it is.
Yeah. So it's crazy to me that the Grammys will keep doing this. Even big artists like Logic, but until there are more artists like Logic, even big artists than Logic, who have to stand up to make a difference. Until then, there will be because there's no metric of way to change this in the Grammy without media outcry, without star power outcry. Until there is no change.
I mean, until you see, again, people like Drake, people like, massive hip hop stars. And I feel like they have. I feel like people have spoken out. It's just like they never get enough media attention to really rile people up. And, I mean, to be fair, not a lot of hip hop.
Yeah, not
a lot of hip hop fans care.
True.
Like, to be honest, like I don't really measure the success of an artist just like in terms of like industry success by the amount like Grammys they win. I usually measure it by the sales that they get, the longevity on the charts that they get. You know, that
and
kind
how
of
well
stuff.
we rated on the Ham and Juice podcast.
Exactly. That is probably the number one metric. We are probably above Grammys in terms of how we rate things.
If we like it, it's good. If we don't like it, it's bad.
It's horrible and you should never listen to it. But if we tell you to stream something, you better stream it because I swear to God, we will break into your house and kick you out and basically listen to it on your Spotify account.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. I don't even know where we're going with that one. I guess we got to talk, you know, we actually do have to bring it back into something a little bit more serious here.
Okay.
We do got to talk about the whole Megan Thee Stallion situation. Because I think we've brought it up, but we haven't really addressed the real.
So what happened? Did Megan Thee Stallion get shot or not?
So to be clear here, according to a third eyewitness account, which was Megan's friend, she said that Megan was shot in the foot, I believe, twice.
Oh goodness.
By Tory Lanez when she was attempting to leave the vehicle.
Whoa.
Yeah, and apparently Megan Thee Stallion had done nothing to actually aggravate this. It was basically just completely unprovoked. And to be fair, I think that, I mean, she's addressing the video, but like she brings up this interesting point where it's like, we don't really protect black women in this industry. It's always, did she deserve it? Like, why did he, why, like maybe he has a side to this, you know? And I mean, to be completely clear with you, I don't really think it really matters what the side was. I mean, he really just shot her in the foot.
Yeah.
As she was trying, it's like he shot her. He shot her. That is not acceptable by any metric.
100%.
She like completely unprovoked, just straight up out of the blue, just shot her. And Tory Lanez has a history of actually being kind of crazy.
Damn.
I mean, I remember one time his bodyguards were like someone pulled up on him at his house.
Yeah.
Not really like violent, but like I guess threatening.
Sure.
And he took one of the guns from his bodyguard and just started screaming at the dude with the gun in his hand. And you know, like it's stuff like that. Like it's just you can't. We really need to change the culture around these female artists in that we choose not to protect them. We choose not to because you know we always like people like Tory Lanez's music.
Yeah, but just because the music's good don't mean that the person's good. We've seen that multiple times. People.
Completely true.
Chris Brown. People.
Completely
R.
true.
Kelly. The I Believe I Can Fly guy. R. Kelly. He's a bad person. Chris Brown. He's a bad person. Tory Lanez.
But, you know, like I make it a point usually to talk about how like I personally don't listen to Chris Brown or R. Kelly, but that's your choice. But I'm gonna be honest with you here. I feel like I have to change that point of view here and just say like, I really don't think you should be listening to these people anymore.
Okay.
I don't think it is morally acceptable. I personally, because you are directly supporting these people by listening to their music. You are streaming that. You are literally giving them money.
Yeah.
And in this industry, giving them money is basically signaling your support.
Yeah, it's validating their behavior.
Exactly. I mean, how, like, I honestly, I would not be surprised if, let's say, like, Tory Lanez's streams actually went up from this whole incident.
Yeah, I think
Because of the media attention.
there needs to be some justice. There needs to be an investigation, and there needs to be full accountability on Tory Lanez's part and honesty, if he wanted to. You know, like,
That's true. That's true.
we'll see what he has to say. We'll see if he wants to come clean. But until then, we will have to think about the victim, Megan Thee
Yep.
Stallion.
Yep. I guess just to add on to this, Kalani has recently just shared a new music video for her new song, and she's removing Tory Lanez from this song. It's called Can I? And you know what? I think, like, what can you do? I think that's probably a good move.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Incredible
shoot,
how the failures of Tory Lanez's behavior is affecting everybody in this industry, not only himself, but affecting people, women who work hard on their music. His activity has affected them, even outside of this, like directly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. It's incredible. It's very sad too.
Yeah. Well, again, I think we should just protect women in the industry. I think it's very. I mean, we've seen time and time again that people do not get the respect that they deserve. You know.
Yeah.
Like this, we should not be memeing Megan Thee Stallion getting shot.
No.
Like, it's a serious thing. I mean, this woman probably thought that she was about to die. I mean, come on, man. Like, anyway, let's move on to something that me and Jason are probably gonna fight over. We have Snoop Dogg saying that Eminem is not in his top 10 list.
Well, I'm gonna say my reaction was shocked.
Jason loves Eminem. Jason thinks Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time. Did you know that?
No. Well,
yeah, Jason loves him. Jason streams Venom every day.
Back in 2018, 2019, it was one of my favorite songs.
A year ago, my God, Jason.
Yeah. We talked about the music for Murder. It was the new Eminem album. It was okay. It wasn't as good as Venom from the Kamikaze album. But Snoop Dogg said this. Eminem, in the general rap scheme, people think he's like in the top 10. But Snoop Dogg said not in his top 10. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Eminem is not in your top 10. What's the story here? Fair. Right? If Snoop Dogg doesn't believe it, that's what Snoop Dogg believes. But is what Snoop Dogg believes, does that apply to everybody? No, it doesn't.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, people like to. I mean, I think Snoop Dogg literally said this, but I mean, people like to obsess over Eminem because, honestly speaking, Eminem is the most prominent white guy rapper.
Yeah.
Right. And he is probably. I mean, like, respect to him for actually succeeding in an industry that is mainly dominated by African American people. But I don't, like, personally speaking, I don't really vibe with Eminem's music at all. I think I vibe with maybe 2 songs, like, that I really like, but a lot of them that I do kinda am okay with just have really good features on them that are singing, because I like singing.
Rihanna. We love Rihanna.
Hell yeah, man.
We love Rihanna.
I mean, like, these are just songs that, like, you hear on the radio when, like, I was, like, a lot younger, right? And, like, they're catchy. They stick in your head.
He was big.
But, yeah, he's big. But in terms of, like, like, just raw rapping, I don't think I vibe with his particular rapping style. And I respect Snoop's opinion on this because a lot of people feel like they had to put Eminem up there. But, yeah, like, I mean, Snoop even says, like, there are a lot of people from the 80s that he could never really measure up to, like Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, LL Cool J, and Ice Cube.
Okay, but that's of his era, It depends on the metric, depends on the personal taste. Every time we talk about top 10 rappers, which we should do one day, Hamza, one day we should talk about our top 10 rappers as part of the podcast, but not today. It's hard to say what metric. In Eminem, he's very commercially successful. Is that what we say is the greatest? Does that deserve a top 10 spot? He's done a lot of things with other artists, and he's done a lot of things for rap music.
It's true.
But a lot of people don't like him,
I mean, to be fair, like, a lot of people, I mean, if you're going by pure commercial success, like, people put Jay-Z for that reason, right? And, I mean, early Hav, I guess, in terms of just raw talent. But
now, like, Hav, come on.
I mean, he just made his money, which is respect, because he's made a ton of money. He's probably the biggest rapper.
Have you guys listened to Pound Cake? He just says cake 8 times. Cake. How many
That's true.
pounds in a pound cake? God damn!
Jason's very opinionated over Pound Cake because Jason likes Drake a lot. And, like, I guess, like, the people that Snoop are referencing here, like Rakim, like Big Daddy Kane. Rakim is known for his lyricism. LL Cool J and Ice Cube, not really, but I think what he's going by here is also charisma.
Yeah, an influence of the game.
Right. Eminem does not have charisma. I'm going to be completely real with you here. He is known as the angry rapping man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you think of Eminem, you don't think of like a fun song. You think of like either like an absolutely crazy song, which is
a lot of Eminem fans like angry.
Right. Or like just like like angry at things. screaming about like napkins and napkins, like
That's who he is. That's what he's made himself to be. And even when he's trying to be sensitive and personal, people hate that kind of Eminem so much.
It's true. It's true because maybe you just don't like Eminem as a person if he's really just putting himself out like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he talks about his family and his daughter. People hate that. People hate that about that. It's sad, but it's true. People like Ice Cube for his music and who he is. He's a very talented guy.
I mean, like LL Cool J is literally Ladies Love Cool J. That's what it stands for. So you can imagine it's fun music. It's like it's like you want to dance to it. You want to like get down to it, right? Eminem does not have that kind of, I guess.
But also, it's also because Snoop Dogg probably has a relationship with these guys. Is that his bias? His bias? He maybe never had like a personal relationship with Eminem.
That's fair.
It sounds like he might have known Ice Cube in person. He might have known LL Cool J in person. Does that impact how a rapper thinks about the top 10 greatest rappers? How they treated him? Because we, even though as great as we are, we don't have these personal relationship with these rappers. But does that influence Snoop Dogg?
I mean, probably, but like, yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, definitely, like, if I know a rapper, I'm definitely gonna put him higher than than probably what I put him before. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the dude, you can understand like the motivation between it. Yeah, it's hard to really do top tens if you're like, I don't know what he's judging this on. I can kind of guess because again, these guys definitely have a lot more charisma. I can definitely get down to that music more. But in terms of lyricism, I mean, Eminem probably could blow out Cool J and Ice Cube out of the water.
Yeah, in a battle rap, like as much as anyone can hate Eminem, he goes hard when somebody disses him.
It's true. Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's difficult to really talk about this. Like people. I mean, but then again, there are like more lyrical rappers that definitely are more lyrical than Eminem and yet are never mentioned. Like Black Thought from The Roots, like he's definitely probably the most talented rapper I've ever heard.
Come together, Eminem's okay. Hamza didn't like Eminem. Snoop Dogg didn't like Eminem. But
okay.
On other news, Doja Cat has coronavirus.
Oh no.
We talk about Doja Cat and her how she went back on her principles.
Jason's
zero integrity.
Beef. Jason's beef with Doja Cat.
She has zero integrity and no principles. But I feel sad. I hope she gets better. I hope this isn't a serious case of coronavirus. We see the variety of symptoms people can get. I hope she gets through this pretty quickly. And as much as we've criticized her on the podcast for her actions,
my god! As much as Jason criticized her for her actions,
we would like to see her have a 100% recovery, come back to music, and do the right thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't really wish illness on a lot of people.
Yeah,
stuff is kind of important. I guess we're gonna cap it off with some good news here. Rihanna has at least dropped a tiny bit of news for her new album.
We love Rihanna.
And she has, we do. We definitely do. I guess the exact quote is, "It's taken this long. I'm gonna make it worth it," which I am very, very hyped about. She even mentions that she's always working on music, and when she feels ready to put it out, it's gonna come out, and we're not gonna be disappointed. It's gonna be worth it, dude. I am. Yeah, I do too. I mean, like her last album, Anti, was absolutely excellent. I mean, it is like, I remember the first time I listened to it, I was like, this is a Rihanna album? Oh my god! Like, it was crazy. Anyway, I just really think it's a good album. And if that is the same level of quality that you could expect from Rihanna, then I'm down with that. I mean, just like going off, like there's that Work featuring Drake. That song basically took over the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, every single song on this album is good. Like, okay, just going from like 1 to 16 on the deluxe anyway. Consideration featuring SZA, banger. James Joint, banger. Kiss It Better, banger. Work, everybody knows what Work is. Desperado is so good. Woo is amazing. Everybody knows Needed Me.
Oh my god.
There's Yeah, I Said It. You know Yeah, I Said It. Same Old Mistakes, Never Ending, Love on the Brain. Like, just looking at this list of songs, it's like someone handpicked amazing Rihanna songs and just put them on here. You know? So
It will live up to the hype.
all I'm saying is if this is as good as Anti, I will be happy. Now if only Frank Ocean could drop, maybe that would be cool. If you could say anything about it, that'd be great, but
All right.
sometimes
On more obscure news, but just as relevant, Travis Scott is charging $12 for Travis Scott hand sanitizer.
Interesting. Does it possess some kind of quality to it that would make
Yeah,
it
it
worth
has
$12?
the Travis Scott label.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to buy hand sanitizer, like 1,200% the markup price of hand sanitizer, Travis Scott sticker on it. You can do that. All right.
Okay. All right, I think we're gonna leave it at there. It's been a pretty long episode actually. Last thing, new Georgia Smith song. It's called By Any Means. Apparently, it is quite good. I have not heard it yet. Please let us know how it is. And yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at there.
Yeah.
Jason,
I love you.
How do you feel about this? Jason loves you. Jason loves you a lot.
How do I feel about what?
About this episode, how do you feel?
I like it. I like the new. I like how we're moving forward with this, and I love Drake, and I'm okay with Eminem.
Okay. Anyway, see you next week, and bye. That was pretty good.